Okay, you wouldn't think as such a successful, podcaster or blogger or whatever you would call it, whatever you call those town criers, whatever it could be. You wouldn't think they would always have to be working in a laundromat and running laundry. You wouldn't think it would always be that case. I'm going to go ahead and, wait a minute, this is going to be tricky. I'm going to do it. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I had to do a handstand. I'm so old I had to walk my back legs up over the top of the dryer, and I had to use my tail. My tail's kind of like some kind of a monkey tail. I don't know. It's like I don't know if someone be a ringtail lemur. Maybe it is. I don't know. It's but it's a little bit more. It's more like an eel, but it's like a monkey. It's a cross between a monkey tail and an eel. And I used my tail to push the power button to turn the dryer off because I did want to have some undivided attention because this was a little peculiar, and I don't know, I'm not going to get into it, but we went on a long car ride. The man insisted. He had gassed up the Ford Festiva or whatever it is. I forget what this little car is. Very boxed in. The AC needs recharged. It was a very muggy day. The man thought because it was overcast and it was a call for rain that it might be a little bit cooler, but it was so muggy you could cut it with a knife. The air you could cut with a knife was disgusting. So we're driving. We're both exasperated. We're exuberated and exasperated, and we need to stop and get a Coca-Cola. And we find this, like on the side roads of Kentucky, if you get up in the mountains, it has to be in the vicious turns of a mountain road, you can find some of them old little stores, rough lumber, no paint on them, lots of pretty cool signage, but out front there's a porch, and it's rickety, and there's people hanging out. You can always go in there, and there's a single freezer, and you can open up, you get whatever's in there you can buy. Mostly it's different kinds of pops. You can get a Sunkist or Sunburst, RC Cola. You can get all kinds of sarsaparilla root beers, but also all off-brand, but it's in glass bottles. It's like maybe been in there 50 years. They've been waiting to sell this thing. Originally they paid 3 bottles for a penny. Now they're selling it for $1. So that's what's sustaining them. That's what's keeping them going. We go in there, and I'm cutting to the chase now. We paid for our pops. We always have to stop and drink a little bit of your pop there and say hello. It's part of the cost. That you have to provide them with some visitation, some conversation. So that's what we kind of did. And the man, he almost sat down. I was like, gosh, buddy, we got to get a move on. I'm already dying here in the heat because they have all the shaded seats. By the time you walk out in the sun and you turn around and talk to them, and that's almost like it's a weird thing that they're trying to do. It's almost like Texas Chainsaw Massacre of, a micro. It's like a Texas micro infringement or micro hurt, whatever you call the micro thing where you hurt somebody microly. They coax you to walk out in the sun, and they turn you around, they give you a micro hurt. They try to engage you in conversation. It's like a micro torture. You're like, God bless. It's only lasts for like 35, 40 seconds, but we're babbling on, and all of a sudden this guy comes walking up, and I crap you not, I'm not going to swear. He's in dungarine overalls, bare feet. He literally has a big piece of hay sticking out of his mouth he's chewing on, and he has a straw hat. And he walks up, and I can't even do the voice because it's kind of weird, but it was so natural to him. He goes, "Hi, Cousin Charney." That's not how he did it. Yeah, let me try that again. He goes, "Hi." Yeah, that's what it was. He went, "Hi, Cousin Charney." Yeah, that's what he did. It's hard for a dog to make those voices. And then the man, he kind of talked to us regularly. It was like grumble. He was trying to hide his high-pitched voice. I think he was grumbly, like he smoked a lot of cigarettes or whatever. And he goes, "Hi, Cousin Charney." And I said, Cousin Charney, is that a greeting? I was thinking as a dog, I never heard this before. Hey, Cousin Charney. And, they kind of talk a little bit, and he's the one Cousin Charney starts walking off, and he goes, the guy sitting on the porch goes, "Hey, Cousin Charney, are you going to the dance?" And he goes, "I'll see you there, Cousin Charney." And I realized that there are both Charneys, and maybe everybody there was a Charney. I think possibly everybody in the store connected with that store was a Charney, and they were all cousins. I'm not sure. But listen, next time we go for a ride, I'm going to insist we go back there because they actually had an old-fashioned ice machine where they make the ices and they drool the colors and the sweets and the sugars over the ices. And you just have a cup of ice that's got a lot of dye and cancer-causing agents and sugar. It's so good. Everybody should have one of them. Any chance you get, you got to get one of them. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to investigate these Charneys. As a dog, you have my guarantee. I'm going back to investigate these Charneys.